The Suicide Squad movie had three references towards the SnyderVerse and the greater DCEU, and I will be breaking them down in this video. Don't worry guys, these aren't major spoilers, but if you want to go into the Suicide Squad movie fresh, then maybe put this video on your watch later, come back after you've seen the movie, watch this video and then discuss in the comment section below whether or not you think that these references are in the SnyderVerse or Warner Brothers DCEU canon. I enjoyed these references a lot and I think it definitely opened up the DC universe in an interesting way. Now the Suicide Squad movie is James Gunn's solo movie and it very much is its own thing. It's not worried about building a cinematic universe. I would argue it's actually building the James Gunn DC universe because the post-credit scene was a direct reference to the Peacemaker HBO Max series that's coming in early 2022. Now the first SnyderVerse reference we got to see in the trailers, which was that Bloodsport is in prison for putting Superman in the ICU. But this is not elaborated on in any way. What you get in the trailers is what you get in the movie. And this is kind of a negative I have towards the movie because I would have liked to actually see this scene. And there's a few references in this movie where it would have been cool to cut away to the actual scene that they're talking about. And it would have made the DCEU seem even larger and more connected. But James Gunn wasn't worried about building a DCEU. He wasn't worried about creating another Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was just worried about telling the Suicide Squad story, and he did that pretty well. But Amanda Waller just says that he's in prison for putting Superman in the ICU, and Bloodsport replies, "I'm not joining your Suicide Squad." It would have been cool to see Henry Cavill make a cameo, but then again, James Gunn himself said he doesn't even know who is Superman within the DCEU. So it's up to you guys to interpret, is it Henry Cavill's Superman, is it Zack Snyder's Superman, or is it the Justice League Superman? The second kind of SnyderVerse reference is towards Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian, who did an amazing job in the film, and I would love to see him return in the role. But his character arc is very, very interesting, and his superpower is also very, very interesting. Throughout the movie, he references that his relationship with his mother was not always the best. His mother worked at Star Labs, and that's how he got his powers. He says in the movie that his mother was obsessed with making her children into superheroes, so she experimented on all of her children and it went wrong. Polka Dot Man's powers is, of course, shooting polka dots from his body, and it's actually pretty effective, but it's also a mutation that he has to deal with because if he doesn't extract polka dots from his body every so often, he will end up dying. So that was an interesting character arc, and I thought it was pretty cool to see Polka Dot Man's origin story take place in Star Labs because his mother was a scientist and obsessed with making them into superheroes. So the question is, did Polka Dot Man's mother ever interact with Ryan Chow? Probably not because he's a younger guy, but she probably interacted with Silas Stone if, of course, this takes place in the SnyderVerse. But obviously as well, Justice League 17 had Silas Stone too. So that makes me think that Polka Dot Man's mother did in fact interact or work under Silas Stone at Star Labs. I thought it was a pretty cool reference that his mother worked there and that's how he was created as the Polka Dot Man. And throughout this movie, Polka Dot Man has this hatred towards his mother. So whenever he's in action or whenever he's going to kill somebody, he only sees his mother because of what she did to him and his siblings. But then again, it was all about telling and not showing. It would have been cool to see David Dastmalchian have a scene within Star Labs. Maybe his mother is there as well. Maybe even a reference towards Silas Stone. But again, we don't get to see it. And that's my big negative about this movie. It tells us loads of cool stuff, but doesn't show us. And the last SnyderVerse reference, if you want to call it that, is the relationship between Harley Quinn and Joker. Now, Joker is never referenced by name. Either is the first Suicide Squad film and what happened there, or either is Birds of Prey. But Harley Quinn, long story short, has a relationship with a male character in the film and it doesn't go the way that she wants, and she refers to all of her relationship turning toxic or being bad. So You know, I thought it was pretty cool that she referenced the two previous movies without actually talking about them directly. And this movie definitely felt like Harley Quinn's third entry, her third story. It very much felt like that Birds of Prey and the first Suicide Squad and what happened to her in those were canon to her story. So I thought that was pretty cool. Would have been cool to see or hear of Joker or something like that. But then again, the Suicide Squad is its own movie. James Gunn wasn't concerned with creating a DCEU referencing other movies that are coming in the future or the past. But I liked how Harley Quinn talked about her past traumas, her past relationships, and how they did not work out. Now, guys, of course, these references aren't too much on the nose. The Superman one, the Star Labs one, the Joker one, they aren't huge or anything. It doesn't mean it's part of the SnyderVerse, but I just thought they were cool little Easter eggs to have in this movie. I think 100% it's up for interpretation. It's up to you which Superman it was. Was it Henry Cavill's Justice League 2017 Superman or Zack Snyder's Superman? Was it Barry Allen, Silas Stone, that kind of Star Labs world, or was it just a rebooted one, a one that those characters don't really exist in? And the Joker reference would have been cool to hear about the Joker and what happened between those two characters, but again, it was just a slight reference. And have you seen the Suicide Squad movie yet? It's out in Europe in some countries. It's not hitting the US until August 5th or 6th on HBO Max and in theaters. I'm very eager to hear your thoughts about the movie. Also, guys, get in the comment section. Let me know your mini review for the Suicide Squad and what do you think of these slight SnyderVerse or maybe just DCEU references in this movie. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Give a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Go check out the Suicide Squad. I think it's a lot of fun. I think you will enjoy it. And James Gunn does something very, very different with characters who are very much nothing like you've seen before.